Yeah, Opera GX is I'm trying to use it, but it's a browser for gamers, which which means it's kind of racist.
Well, yeah, that's just built into the tin right there. That's know what you're getting.
You say that, see that right on the tin.
Yeah, boom.
Let's see. What was I looking at? I was looking at. What was I looking at?
Pass.
You know who else is pass?
Who's that?
Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to Pixel. My name is Kevin. With me as was Phil on today's show. We're starting a new book, Driver Nemesis, by I didn't write his name down.
Alex Stone.
Alex Stone.
Is it Alex Stone? Alex Sharp. Close.
Alex Sharp.
Alex Sharp. Yeah. Alex Sharp.
Yeah. So yeah. Welcome to Driver Nemesis, everybody.
Or as I like to call it, Shitty the Departed.
Shitty the Departed. It's not a co-op. This is our most departed. This get ready, because there's going to be some. If you thought we talked about The Departed a lot,
this is the one.
This is the one right here. We've
been waiting 5 years for this shit, my friend. Like
I have in my notes. I have fucking CAWP written out in phonetically in a Boston accent in my notes.
Beautiful. Fucking CAWP. I love it.
Fucking CAWP. So yeah, Driver Nemesis by Alex Sharp. It's we're reading it, and before we talk about it, I just want to talk to you about a little website called patreon.com/pixelitpod, or you can type in pixelitpod.com and it takes you to the same place. We got 3 tiers. For you to give us money. $1 gets you access to the bloggy blog that Phil writes about the books that he's reading. It also gets you access to the early episode, which the last few weeks has been the regular episode, just because we've been recording. Yeah. It's been a holiday season, folks.
It's been a holiday season. Yeah, we just have to accept that.
We just have to accept that. $5 gets you access to the bonus episode, and $10 gets your name shouted out in the episode. To that end, I want to thank And You Are Hiding, Jesus Loves You, Kyle Seaman, Songyu85, Ruthless Miter, Middle of Things, Sigma Sal, Sanguine, Flatulence, Check, Beaks, Thick, and Friendly Friend. Thank you so much for being a friend. Pixelitpod.com, patreon.com/pixelitpod. Do it today. So who the fuck's Alex Sharp?
I'll tell you who Alex Sharp is. Nobody. This is
because
actually
it's a pseudonym.
This is it has to be, but this might be the first time I can't find shit about. The closest thing I can find is an Alexandra, I believe her name is Sharp, who is a writer, but she's like a technical writer, and she's way too young to have written this when it came out. I have found squat on this one.
Wow.
It's that level. There's nothing else written by this person. Nothing, not a damn thing. So that's fascinating in and of itself, because I think even with our most obscure shit, like the World of Power books and stuff like that,
we can find they're usually like, it's like a YA author, like
right
at the beginning of their career or something like that.
Absolutely. We can track somebody down, something down. And this is the first time I really gave it my all. And I was like, oh, this is, whoever wrote this, covered their tracks very well.
You don't think it's like a Sam Lake situation? Remember, he wrote the novel for Alan Wake.
Alan Wake, yeah.
John Burroughs or something like that. So,
right.
Because Sam Lake is
Maybe.
already what's funny, it's like he went 2 pen names deep because Sam Lake is already a pen name that he uses. I think his last name is actually Jarvie or something like that. It's like the English translation of it is Lake.
Well, it was written. Yeah, see, this doesn't have the same auteur kind of style writer kind of person. Although the person's name is Maurice Suckling, which I love. I love that so very, very much. That's a great name. Yeah, no, I haven't been able to find anything. And that is hilarious because, again, we've been able to find something on some of the most obscure damn books. Whoever wrote this either is not proud of it or it just doesn't care about being a writer anymore. There is, in fact, another writer, like a creative writer under this name that I think is also a woman. But they appear to be like a fantasy, like romantasy style writer or something. So I just can't believe that's the same person. Although if they were, that would be damn impressive based on what we're dealing with here.
Right.
Alex Sharp, if you're listening, call us, contact us. We want you on the show. We want to know about your mystery.
So, Driver, for those of you who are unfamiliar, it was the first one is was a car game, like pretty strictly a car game. Was Driver the one where you, I think, had to be in the fucking, or is that Stuntman? The car park. The car park level where you're trying to, it was like it was the opening of the game and like most people couldn't finish the first like tutorial because it was hard.
Oh no.
This book is based on the second Driver game called Driver 2, Back on the Streets.
Okay. I like that title. I'll give them that.
Yeah. So yeah, you're still, I mean, it's John Tanner in both games. Driver 2 makes it a little bit more GTA-like, where you could get out of the car and move around and stuff like that. And there are 4 cities in the second Driver game: Chicago, Havana, Las Vegas, and Rio de Janeiro. Rio de Janeiro, which I assume is a later level in the game, figures into the plot of the book, as there's a character named Jericho that is big in the book that has to do with like his time in Rio in Driver 2. But the Driver series has been going on. Let's see, the last one was a free-to-play smartphone game released in 2014. Which,
oh man.
Sounds about
That's always a good sign.
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm looking at the Metacritic scores here through the years, and it's like they drop precipitously all the way up to the 5th installation, Driver San Francisco, where everything popped back up again, and then we got a 3DS Driver game that is possibly one of the lowest. I think it is the lowest scored on here.
Yeah.
Except for one of them. So. You don't see that very frequently. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's just the bouncy bounce of quality here is hilarious.
Absurd. There's a Driver 76, which is it just reminds me, there was a game called Interstate 76, which was just dripping with cool. I remember it was from the 90s. Interstate 76.
Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah, look at that shit. 1997.
Dripping with cool. Absolutely blocky as hell.
Look at those polygons.
All the polygons are, it's like they use the polygons. That's like a real artistic use of polygons there.
They used the polygons, I think, in the right way. Like
Right.
they're like, just lean into it. Just lean into it.
Yeah.
And have fun with it, and don't try to pass yourself off as, high quality, high fidelity shit. Just lean into it. Have fun with it.
Lean into it.
Yeah, they did that.
You know what, though? Let's lean into putting the body in the marsh.
Ooh, let's do
it.
When I tell you to dump a body in the marsh, you dump them in the marsh.
So chapter 1, before chapter 1, we get a big old block letters that this is pre-Hurricane Katrina.
Jesus Christ.
By the way,
what a hell of a way to start. Like literally the first 4 words are New Orleans pre-Katrina. Like that's it's like, guys.
Does Katrina figure into the plot at all? No, they just want to establish that it's the old New Orleans, not what was left of New Orleans after Hurricane Katrina. And let's say New Orleans has bounced back reasonably well for a category 5. Category 5 levels your city. You that's you got
might
a lot
be
of
out
work
of
to
the
do.
city. Yeah.
But
that's out.
We open with a lot of descriptions of the French Quarter, the partygoers, the drinkers, and the humidity before we are introduced to John Tanner, who is currently at the wrong end of a Saturday night special. The kid holding up John is named Quentin, a skinny, ginger, raggedy-assed exclamation mark of a man. Which is
this. This is the best description in the whole book, as far as I'm concerned.
A raggedy ass exclamation mark of a man. I might have to borrow that one. At some point,
full
because I know what Quentin
points.
looks like.
Yes, you know exactly who they're talking about. It doesn't necessarily get a hell of a lot better from here. But they started strong as far as descriptions are concerned, I think.
He seems very flustered as opposed to Tanner, who is basically the Marlboro Man in terms of coolness and looks. He's been driving for the crew Quentin is part of for a few months and apparently asked too many questions, and it's got Quentin all riled up. By the way, this characterization of Quentin getting riled up about somebody asking too many questions does not make any fucking sense as the book goes on longer, because Quentin is the most scaredy cat character of the crew.
Anyway. This is a terrible introduction to Quentin. To get to know him. Yeah.
Bowman, a Creole man who's the head of this crew, doesn't seem all that worried about the situation. Tanner just wants to meet the Indian in charge of the overall operation. Yes, the villain's name is the Indian.
Yeah.
How are we using Indian? TBD.
Yeah, we don't know if it's Cahokia or Calcutta. It hasn't been established. Yeah. No one's telling us. Derogatory, not sure yet. But that's this book, baby. that's what they desperately want to be Grand Theft Auto here. Like they're trying so hard to be Grand Theft Auto, and it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Grand Theft Auto barely works.
Tanner disarms Quentin rather easily and beats the shit out of him. Bowman laughs about it and tells Tanner that no one meets the Indian unless he asks you first. Tanner takes out his frustrations on Quentin, who is on the ground now. We're chapter 2 flashback to 3 months earlier. We find out that John Tanner is a fucking CAWP in the San Francisco Police Department. Tanner is talking to New Orleans Police Superintendent Powell about the Indian, a crime lord in New Orleans that is basically a ghost. He kills people in vicious ways, like feeding them to dogs, drugging them out of their minds, and doing Clockwork Orange-style tricks to them, and then burying them alive with an air tube so they're stuck down there for days. We also meet Deputy Chief Cochran, the man who's been running the investigation into the Indian. He's annoyed Tanner is there because he believes that he's very close to catching him. He just needs 48 more hours. Even though 4 expensive covert ops have failed to pay off. Tanner is there from San Francisco because he's known to be a good undercover operative. He's a great driver and thinks like a villain. So he'll be on loan from the San Francisco Police Department for this mission. Tanner says he's got to be able to run the operation his way. He'll need Officer Tobias Jones as his man on the outside and the leeway to possibly commit multiple crimes.
Yeah. What is it they say? You're like, all right, you're cleared for felonies, but don't go crazy with it.
Yeah. What's above a felony? I mean, sedition? What are we?
Right. Like, if I hear about any goddamn treason, I'm gonna snap. I'm just gonna snap.
Be so mad. Powell agrees to Powell agrees to Cochran's dismay, and Cochran says he's going to be watching him like a hawk. Chapter 3. Bowman, Tanner, and Quentin are waiting in a lockup for something to happen. So a lockup,
aren't we all?
Yeah. So a lockup is, from what they've described, it's like a shed-ish type. It's like a garage off of an alleyway in this context. Bowman is constantly checking his timepiece. Half an hour earlier, Tanner radioed to Can we just stop with the fucking backtracking? Jesus fucking Christ.
It's constant. It doesn't stop. It's way overdone, and it's not done well. I honestly lost track of where we were on the timeline several times as I was reading this thing.
Half an hour earlier, Tanner radioed Tobias that the heist was on. We get a description of how hot Tobias is, and how well dressed he is, and how nice his apartment is. Mm-hmm. Tobias often goes on long rants about things, and today he was talking about how the Indian's plan to hit an armored truck that's carrying all the money the cops had recently taken from the crime scenes. The job they're supposed to be doing is The job they're supposed to be doing is already been briefed through Cochran, the deputy chief. He knows, and the cops are just supposed to let it happen. Yeah. Suddenly it's showtime and they got to move. Quentin tries to convince Tanner that they'll take his new BMW M3, but Tanner says, no way, we take my car, which is a 1970 Dodge Challenger RT with a low-slung yellow chassis.
This is just the beginning of a lot of car porn.
Car porn all over the place,
which is understandable. That's what we gotten into. I'm not complaining, but be warned, we're going to be running into a lot of car porn here.
And honestly, not a car guy, but anytime they talk about cars from the 70s, all I think about is the end of My Cousin Vinny with Marissa Tomei talking about the car that they mistook the car for in The Getaway. Anyway, it's a good movie. Everybody should watch it. I haven't seen
that movie in 1,000 years. I really need to watch it again.
You should fire it up. Not tonight, because it'll be late after we're done. But like tomorrow, just give me watch My Cousin Vinny and tell me it's not one of the best courtroom movies ever written. Spoiler, it is, because they use it to teach. They actually use it to teach law students in law school.
It is very accurate, apparently.
Very accurate. Dead on balls accurate, as Marissa says in the movie. Let's see. Quentin calls the car a piece of shit until Tanner turns on the engine and it roars. And Quentin's like, never mind. That car is sexy as fuck.
He knows what he wants, and it's to fuck a car.
He wants to fuck a car. That's right. As they ride, Quentin gets more annoying, and because Tanner is playing Motown music, and Quentin's like, turn that shit off. Don't you have any Kid Rock?
Oh, my God.
Tanner's like, it's my car, buddy. You better get out or get in and shape up or ship out. Tanner finds out the other driver on the job is someone named Jericho, who he's had a run-in with before. His cover would still be intact as a criminal, but Jericho might be harboring some ill will towards him. Jericho's car pulls up next to him, and he basically stares daggers at Tanner, saying, I see you. And they're about to have a cockfight before Bowman interrupts and is like, things are going to plan. And Tanner asks Quentin how long it'll take him to empty the van when they get going. I'm reading this very like sarcastically, but this is like just the vibe I get from the book.
It's fascinating though, because you're right. It is very much of its time. It's that kind of early mid aughts kind of thing, or late aughts kind of thing. But at the same time, they're very hung up on like Steve McQueen and Bullet and like that retro kind of thing. Like you said, he kind of chastises him. The schmuck is a Kid Rock fan, not our hero,
right?
But it still feels like this movie should be scored by Kid Rock. You know,
right.
It's weird. It's a weird vibe.
Yeah. Chapter 4, the job starts out smoothly with them stopping the van and taking down the drivers. Quentin picks the locks and gets the money, but then helicopters arrive and tell them to throw down their guns. Cop cars also show up, and Tanner curses Cochran for not being able to let his pettiness go. Tanner saves Jericho from a cop that decides to try to kill him by ramming him into the van door. Jericho gives him the thank you head nod and then hops into the armored truck and hits the engine. Everyone is on the run, and the cops give chase. We get a copter. We got copters.
Yes. Our first non-Resident Evil copter. I was excited. I was
excited for it. Yeah.
We
got a lot of driving action that I'm not going to describe. He uses a ramp at one point to jump onto the highway to get past a cop blockade, and Quentin nearly loses his shit. After the chase, Tanner goes down to the docks to relax, and he gets jumped by Jericho. He thinks Jericho's going to kill him, and then he shakes his hand.
What? Pure badassery. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Chapter 5, Tanner and Tobias are hanging out at the zoo, catching up. They head inside of the reptile enclosure so they can get away from prying eyes. Tobias tells Tanner that Cochran's excuse for fucking up the job was that he had intel that the Indian was with him that night and that he couldn't get Tobias or Tanner on their cell phones. That sounds like bullshit. Tobias then realizes that Tanner enjoyed himself, and they get into a slight argument over Tanner being a little too reckless with his adrenaline junkie ways. And then Tanner basically says, "You got to let me unwind my way because it's my neck on the line." And Tobias is sorry. And be like, no, Tobias shouldn't back down. Like, Tanner is an impulsive. Like, this is an era where, like, oh, yeah, he's a bad dude, but he's a bad dude for a reason.
Right. He's a bad dude for a cause.
He's a walking red flag for a cause.
That's all it is. This is just one red flag after the other, and they're usually our protagonist. That's what they're usually.
They get back to business, and Tanner says the whole thing with Jericho might give him an angle to getting to the Indian, and he and Jericho will be partners in their missions from now on. Just then, Jericho calls and wants to meet in a half hour. So I haven't read ahead from, like, we're going to wrap up at like chapter 10 tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read ahead. Rereading those notes, there's no way that Jericho isn't the Indian, right?
No way. The only thing that they could do that would actually impress me is make Quentin the Indian.
Yes.
And they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that.
So it's got to be Jericho, no question.
Chris Jericho, WWF star Chris Jericho.
That's what I was thinking of the whole time.
I can't see that name. Just imagine Chris Jericho.
I can't not see it. I'm literally reading
long blonde hair.
I can't not do that. I'm reading a book right now where one of the characters' name is Carol, and she's like mid-40s. You know, she's my age. And I can't not think of Carol Burnett whenever she's doing anything. When I'm picturing it in my head, it's Carol Burnett.
Right.
And I know that's not right, but I can't stop.
Yeah. Now, Chris Jericho could have played this Jericho, I think.
Yeah. That's a little more appropriate. You know what? It's a lot more appropriate. Let's just
It would have been era appropriate too. Is the late 2010s or late 2010s? Yeah. So So chapter 6, Tanner meets Jericho by the abandoned industrial area by the docks, which, you know, they're always every city is going to have one. just a big old area that nothing is happening in. And Jericho tells him to get in the car. This is where we step out of The Departed and we go into Training Day.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
This makes Tanner anxious, but after some mild protest, he gets in. Jericho tells Tanner that the money had all been marked and had to be disposed of. So the thinking is that someone tipped off the CAWPs. Tanner finds a reason that it was probably the CAWP who sold them the info that tipped them off on the raid. And Jericho seemingly buys in and says that the Indian will do whatever he wants anyway if he wants to have an inquisition. They drive through central New Orleans and we get some descriptions of the poor living conditions that borders on racist.
Oh, very much so.
Calls it a feral, lawless place. And I was like, buddy. Alex. Mr. Sharp.
Yeah.
What are you doing here?
Yeah, it starts out we're in New Orleans, so of course we got some you go get some gator. You get that, and that's fine to a certain extent. Yeah. But oh boy, yeah, it gets hard real fast.
Yeah. They are there to pick up money from the drug dealers, and Jericho wants to also spend the time, quote unquote, talking. As the afternoon wanes on, Jericho digs into Tanner about his past to somehow explain his actions in Rio. Tanner tells him about his past, which was pretty much his real life, but instead of becoming a criminal, he became a fucking cop.
Yeah. Really
Jericho
silly.
tells him a little about his childhood, and then he says all is forgiven about Rio. The past is in the past. They continue.
Well, thank God.
Thank God.
Oh, something almost happened.
Something almost happened. The will they, won't they on this Rio stuff was getting really tense.
Yeah, and they won't.
And they won't. Good. Moving on. By the way, this book is long as balls.
It's way too long. Way too long. It had no reason. It had no reason.
410 pages or something like that.
There's no justification for a 400-page
4 episodes on it, though.
No, we're wrapping this up in the usual time, gang. That's all there is to it.
They continue picking up money, and Tanner notices Jericho seems to randomly pull out a different style with each drug dealer to keep them guessing. Jericho mentions that fame and notoriety are just drugs for weak minds, and to not look at the figureheads, but to look at the shadows. He mentions that is something that the Indian figured out. And then Tanner asks him about the Indian, what he's really like, and Jericho responds that he's private. Ooh, more Frankie foreshadowing on Jericho being the Indian. If he's not the Indian, I would actually like it more if he wasn't the Indian.
I would like it more, but I'd also be like, come on, guys, who are you kidding?
Who are you kidding?
That's nuts.
The next person they need to pick up cash from is a dealer named Tycho from the Penny Arcade comic series, in case you're wondering. Yeah. Who has been skimming from the top, and the Indian wants the money back. Tanner's annoyed because it could get hairy, but Jericho says it's part of his interview. Tanner nearly gets his head caved in by Tycho with a baseball bat when they enter, and then Tycho runs off. They begin methodically searching for him. They find him, and Tanner has to beat him up a bit to make him talk. And then the book talks about how Tanner knows how to hit someone to put on a good show without doing any real damage. I don't know if that's a thing. Unless you're a professional wrestler,
that's
more professional wrestler posting by me, but that only works when the other person's playing along. You know what I mean? When the kayfabe is intact. There's no kayfabe here. I don't know how he's hitting him and not doing real damage.
Right. It's especially if the person in question is supposed to be in pain. It's, I don't know. I'm sure there are places that you could hurt somebody that won't kill them, but it hurts a lot. It's just a weird way to put it.
It was a weird way to put it. Jericho is about to shoot Tycho when Tanner has a, quote, better idea. And the better idea is to lash him to the hood of the car and begin driving him around the neighborhood. Tycho breaks and finally says he'll show them where the money is.
Yeah, they blood bag the fuck out of this kid.
Yeah. They get the money back, and Jericho looms large over Tycho, and Tycho blames Jericho for his drug use. Tanner expects that Jericho is going to kill Tycho, and Tanner will have to shoot Jericho, blowing the mission. Instead, Jericho lets Tycho go and tells him to never tell anyone about today. Jericho then says to Tanner, "Violence is a cudgel and mercy is a scalpel."
Yeah.
I am 12 and this is deep.
This blew somebody's mind. Like
this
some
kid read this
mind. Blew his mind apart. And I say his, and I'm not taking that back. Blew his mind. That's all there is to it. We all know that.
Hey, did you know that this book is completely out of print?
Yeah. And I'm shocked.
I'm shocked.
I thought people were better than that.
I would imagine it would have been on the 7th printing by now, but
nothing doing.
Yeah. Jericho drops Tanner off back at his car and then tells him that the Indian, there's Jonesy, wants them to try out new drivers tomorrow.
You saw him before I did.
Just saw him crossing by.
He's a murderer. This guy has turned into a straight up, he's still my sweet boy, but he is a straight up murderer. So I live in the house of the murderer.
Yeah. Probably need to put a bell on him or something just so he stops killing so many birds.
He has chewed off every single collar we've ever put on him.
Wow.
He knows what he's about.
I know what I'm about, son. It's like I need my stealth.
He's never not known that he was a level 20 rogue. That's what he is.
Oh God. Chapter 7. The audition for the new drivers is all ready to go when Tanner notices one of them, the only woman, being catcalled by the others. He recognizes her as Julia Navarro, who he knew when she was 10 years old. She was the sister of his friend Jason. He pulls her aside to talk her out of the audition. This is also weird because he refers to her immediately as Julia Navarro, even though he wouldn't know that her name is Julia Navarro now.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mess because she went by Julia Jaybird when she was younger.
I'll take stupid names for 500, Alex.
Yeah. She refuses to back. You could tell that this is a British author, by the way, because it's TYRES on every. They got rid of the U's. They thought they could cover it up by getting rid of the extraneous U's, but tires with a Y, buddy.
We know what you're doing,
you know what you did.
Brits. Yeah.
She refuses to back out and gives him the old "How dare you?" He realizes she's an adult now with her own life and baggage behind her and leaves her be. He goes back to Jericho and it's starting to rain. He tells them that maybe we should push it back a day because of the rain. And Jericho says they'll have to drive in worse conditions working for the Indian. Chapter 8. We get a flashback to 15 years earlier. Jason was voicing similar concerns to Tanner about the rain as they got ready for the biggest race of their lives. Jason, also known as Slater, mentions that he pink slipped his car in order to pay for the race. Julia Jaybird, present-day Navarro, starts talking shit about her half-brother to Tanner. Jason tells her to go home or else Dad would kill them both. At that time, Julia was the brainy one and wanted to be a science teacher. A man in red leather starts getting the crowd hyped up. He's just identified as a man in red leather. All words capitalized.
Yeah, man in red leather. That's his code name.
Yeah, that's his proper name is a man in red leather.
It's his God-given Christian name, a man in red leather.
Of the Covington Red Leathers.
Of course, yes. Very old family, old world.
Prestigious. Came over on the Mayflower.
Okay.
Someone more like the Gay Flower. Oh,
you're fun.
I'm fun. He waves someone hands him a flag and he begins to twirl about with it. And then he announces that the cops are all tied up with a warehouse fire on the other side of town. We're in San Francisco. There's nothing that would cause all the cops to be tied up.
No, especially because it's a fire.
Yeah, it's a fire.
I'm not saying that no cops are going to be there. I'm saying that that's not their priority. So
there's a whole
fuck.
Government organization tasked with this. He waves the flag and the race begins. We cut back to present day. Navarro is winning the race at the moment, but Tanner feels uneasy for her. Jericho asks how he knew her, and he mentions that she was the sister of his friend growing up. After two cars begin to harass Julia and try to drive her off the road, Tanner objects, but Jericho shrugs it off. We cut back to 15 years earlier as the race in the past continues. The race is cutting through various sections of San Francisco and try to keep as many stretches from the movie Bullet in there. But as is explained in the book, the Bullet car chase was a little loosey-goosey with the geography of San Francisco. Tanner gets ahead of Slater, and he thinks he's going to win when at the last minute, Slater undercuts a turn. And we cut back to the present, and Julia then counterpunches her harassers, and she clips one of them, forcing them off the dock and into the river. But Julia's car begins to spin. She's then clipped by a Chevy, which stops her spin, but her car is dead for the moment. Several cars pass, and then she fires the engine back up and just decides to run the race again by herself.
Yeah.
Back in the past, Slater loses control of the car and ends up flipping it end over end down a hill and crashing into a panel van. Tanner decides to continue racing rather than risk arrest. Slater ended up living, but he lost his leg and was served jail time for reckless endangerment. He also cut ties with everyone and refused to see Tanner or Julia or his family. Tanner decided then to turn his life around and become a fucking cop. And their lives continued on diverging paths, with Slater's getting worse and more violent, and Tanner's becoming better, but also violent because he's a cop. And he commits violence in the interest of capital. But it's better,
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah, I wish someone had told them, it's like, look, I understand if you want to back up out of this life, but that doesn't mean you have to become a cop.
Yeah.
It's like when I was an atheist in my 20s, and I'm a white male, so I was an insufferable prick for a little while. And then when I realized that was kind of, a shitty way to live my life, I backed off, but I didn't become a priest. I didn't join the Catholic Church. Like, it wasn't necessary to go that far. I just said, let's tone it down a little bit.
Two paths diverge in the wood. One is the priesthood. The other is Ricky Gervais.
Right. That's a tough one.
Are you offended?
That's genuinely a tough one.
That's a tough one. Priesthood or Ricky Gervais? Call it.
Either way, there's going to be a lot of dick. Yeah, I'm going with that. I'm joke.
Just imagining now the scene from No Country for Old Men, and Anton Chigurh is flipping the coin.
Oh yeah,
but instead of getting the cattle thing in your head, it's like you have to either become a priest or become Ricky Gervais based on
just
coin flip.
Just do the cow killer thing on
just
me. That's
the cow killer thing.
Just kill me. I don't want to. No, I don't. This isn't fair.
No, that's yours. That's your lucky quarter.
That's your lucky quarter. I don't think so.
Call it, friendo. God, that's I gotta rewatch that movie, or just do what I normally do and just rewatch all the Anton Chigurh scenes.
I love
YouTube.
that movie so freaking much. I love it so much. The book's really, really good too.
Yeah, you know what? I haven't read it. It's one of the Cormacs that I have not read.
They I mean, it because they followed it really very closely. But he's just such a great goddamn writer. You can't enjoy that.
Was he a piece of shit as most great American novel authors? Yes. But hey, I still will read a Cormac McCarthy book.
That's
plus he's dead now. It's like I don't feel bad for buying his stuff. He's very dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Chapter 9, Jericho, Bowman, and Tanner are discussing who should get the job. Jericho thinks Julia was clearly the best, even though she didn't win the race. And Bowman thinks she's too much of a hothead, so it's Tanner's decision. Tanner is having trouble deciding what to do because of issues with entrapment. Ultimately, he welcomes Julia to the team and gives her the rundown on where to meet tomorrow night and what to expect. She asks him for a handshake, and he says, "Not tonight." I don't understand. I'm not sure why.
I don't know what's happening there.
It's like, she asked you for a handshake, not for like a blowjob or something like that.
Yeah, like I truly didn't know what the motivation was. It just, I think it was just a matter of like this. It's the rule of cool. This sounds pretty cool.
This sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tanner heads back to his apartment to get drunk and think about Julia being involved. And then while he's in an inebriated state, he realizes that maybe she can be a witness, that he flips for the case. He's like, so I did a good thing. So
how do they put it too? They're like, he sleeps the sleep of the just or something.
Yes, he sleeps the sleep of the just.
So fucking stupid.
The next night before meeting the team, Tanner takes a walk to clear his head and think about some exposition. I can't believe I wrote that in my notes. He takes a walk to think some exposition.
Yep. I feel like the readers are going to need something. Let me take a long walk.
The readers will need something. Yeah. The Indians' rank and file have seemingly been chirping more since the van heist went south. So to counter that, they're going to hit La Lame Rouge, or the Red Blade Gang, read by Jean-Baptiste Lavanche.
Here we go. This fucking guy.
Yeah. His thinking is interrupted by Tobias asking if he's ever going to explain letting Julia on the team. Tanner responds by hitting the wire and causing feedback in Tobias's ear. He's so cool.
So cool. Tanner
goes to the lockup where everyone is waiting for the last of the tough guys to arrive. Because it's like each driver is being paired with a tough. They are shooting the shit, getting their guns in order. John starts to relax a little when suddenly Sean Shields, a henchman from San Francisco's Tenderloin district, shows up and stares at John Tanner, the man who put him behind bars 5 years ago. Dun, dun, dun. Chapter 10, we get some backstory about Sean Shields. Real piece of shit. Sean had managed to get away with a bunch of things because his defense was able to make fruit of the poisonous tree defense with the evidence, and it's what caused Tanner to go into undercover work. So like, I hate the book's perspective on this, right? Because it's like, oh, he got off on a technicality. And be like, well, no, and they don't use fruit of the poisonous tree, but that's the defense, or that's what they asserted in his defense. And fruit of the poisonous tree is also part of why Luigi Mangione might actually get off. So basically, a fruit of the poisonous tree is, and I might not explain it exactly correctly, is like, if something in the chain of like the arrest or getting evidence was done incorrectly, then everything that happened beyond that point is poisoned, right? So if they if they took his backpack and searched it and there's no chain of custody, right? And then they return it and they found the gun or whatever, but there's no evidence as to what the chain of custody was. Well, it becomes inadmissible, and everything beyond that point, like the prosecution can't even say he had a gun because they can't admit that evidence into the court record because it's the fruit of the poisonous tree.
Because they did shitty police work.
It's not a fucking technicality. It's Tanner being a shitty detective and bad at his job.
It's meant to protect people from corrupt cops and bullshit like that.
It's meant to protect people from corrupt cops. So fuck John Tanner and fuck this book for making it seem like Sean Shields, if we're just obviously the assertions, we'll just take the assertions in the book are fact that he would like pepper spray people to steal their bags. Be like, real piece of shit. But I would rather I would rather he walk free because the cops didn't do their job than the cops being able to be corrupt whenever they want, and they're already able to be corrupt whenever they want.
It's already way weighted in their favor. So don't give him any goddamn leverage. Don't give an inch.
So in present day, Sean, anyway, this is what caused Tanner to go into undercover work. In present day, Sean recognizes him and Tanner decides to punch him in the face first and calls him a snitch. They rumble and tumble, and then Sean starts saying that he's a cop, which Jericho doesn't buy it and shoots Sean in the stomach. Jericho is about to shoot him in the head when Tanner plays up a big moment of laughter and says, "Just leave him. A gut shot will be more torturous." And he like goes into all the details about the hydrochloric acid eating away his insides as it leaks from his stomach and all that stuff. Jericho maybe buys it, and they head out to meet their kitten, aka Julia. Quentin is riding with Tanner, and he seems rattled since it was his gun that Jericho used to shoot Sean. Quentin wants to quit, and Tanner says he's got to suck it up for tonight, and then he can try to leave town after, and he'll cover for him. They meet up with Julia, and Jericho gives her a gun, and they get on their way. And that's where we're leaving it for tonight. Phil, I know you've been holding back your thoughts because you wanted to really take the right amount of time and find the right words to praise this work of art.
Yes.
What do you think so far?
This sucks. This is I if I'm being completely honest, it's not completely incompetent. It does its action scenes well enough. It's got it's written for the right audience. It's just so much of its time, and which means it's just up its own ass with the macho swagger bullshit, completely unironically. That it's kind of a tough read. And again, as we've already said, it in no way justifies the time that it's spending. It is way too drawn out. We've got way too many backstory moments, and those aren't done well. Those, I will say, are not done well. We get a lot of flashbacks on flashbacks on flashbacks, and they're not gracefully put together. Not so much as a goddamn asterisks between the flashback moments to keep you on the straight and narrow of where you are.
No scene change punctuation.
No, nothing. Not nothing. So it is not. It's solidly C- work.
Not your best work.
No,
please see me after class.
Exactly. What about you? What are you thinking?
Yeah, some of the driving scenes are it's all right. But I'm the characters are oh my God, it would be so fun if Tanner got killed. I know he's not going to.
Right.
I know he's not going to. But yeah, I'm just blah. Yeah. Yeah, we're 100 and so what I just summarized tonight is approximately 130 pages of story. It's luxuriating in a massive tub of story water. It's story bath water, and it's selling it to gamers.
Yeah. It's bad. It's bad. It's very much of its time. Yeah. So anyway, I don't want to sit too much with that. Bill, hold on. I took a bite of this spicy snack wrap, and what are you playing? There we go.
I got it out.
As per usual, I've got some demos. Nothing major. I'll go through the demos pretty quick. I played the demo for Marvel Cosmic Invasion, which is probably the strongest one I played this week. It's basically, you remember the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles rehash beat 'em up that they did recently. It's that for Marvel characters. It's think of the old Marvel arcade game and combine that with some of the sensibilities of the Marvel vs. Street Fighter games and stuff like that. It is a very engaging, fun, colorful beat 'em up. And it's got a bunch of characters, and in the demo you can play Venom and Wolverine is in his brown and yellow costume, which I fucking love.
I always like the brown and yellow.
Well, that was what he was wearing when I came to the game, to the comic book series. So I always thought
and it's
that was
also what he was
original.
wearing in the arcade game, right? In the X-Men arcade game.
Yes, exactly. And it's fun. There's not a hell of a lot to say about it. It's what these games are. It's how they took the standard button mashy beat 'em up, and they've added in moves that you can do, and achievements and unlockables and stuff like that, just to make it more modern and engaging in that way. Pretty cool. Honestly, definitely. I mean, absolutely worth playing the demo at very least.
Yeah.
And if this is your particular brand of beat 'em up poison, it's not an expensive game. If I'm remembering correctly, it's like $20 or something. What is it? It's 27. 27.
Everything good is between 20 and $30.
I think that's the sweet spot. Anything past $30 and I start questioning things. I also got to play She-Hulk in it, and she is mommy. So check that out if you get a chance. Jesus. There are like, I don't remember how many, but there are a bunch of characters you can play. They really leaned hard into just the fun, goofy, cartoony aspect of it, which in this age of comic book adaptations taking themselves way too goddamn seriously is very, very welcome. So that's a lot of fun.
So I just looked it up. The inflation on the Monkey Island quote, never pay more than $20 for a computer game, is currently sitting at never pay more than $48.66 for a computer game.
I'm good with that. That feels right. That feels right in my head. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
I can hang with that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can get behind that.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now there are like 9 characters you can play, but there's just they've left a lot of room to upgrade this.
There's meat on the bone still.
A lot of DLC to be had, and any one of them that starts with Venom as one of your core characters is okay in my book. 'Cause Venom fucking rules.
So is Annihilus the main villain?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your main thing, and it's super robot bugs. A lot of fun.
Oh, it's got Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, Beta Ray Bill. You got all. It's they're just having fun with it. It's really great, and it's the really good, cartoony, cell shady, kind of vibe.
It's got the Sentinels that it really does have the Sentinels that I wish that we had in.
What is it?
In like the actual movies, instead of trying to make the Sentinels really cool, like just make them fucking purple, like purple and red. Come on,
that's all we need. Super
is that
good.
Phyla-Vell?
Yes.
Okay, that was
Phyla-Vell.
Deep pull. I was like, she looks like Captain Marvel but with a sword.
That's an interesting choice. That's definitely their deep cut for the opening lineup here. I found that really interesting.
She's a deep cut, like she is a cosmic because if you're talking about cosmic characters, right? You
those
have your
cuts in and of themselves.
They're the deeper cuts in and of themselves, and the Guardians of the Galaxy. People know them now, but they know the lineup that James Gunn put out there. They don't know necessarily Phyla-Vell or some of the other characters that are normally in it. So it's got Nova,
Captain America, Nova, Storm, Venom, Wolverine, Phyla-Vell, Spider-Man, Rocket Raccoon, and She-Hulk.
That's a good lineup. I gotta tell you,
it covers a lot of ground. You got your X-Men in there. You got your Avengers. You got some galactic shit. Like it's a good. I think there's something for everybody. Everyone's gonna walk away happy.
And some of the screenshots definitely show either Jean Grey or Rachel Summers. So I don't know if she's in it yet, but in the full version, or if she's just like someone coming.
These are the kinds of games that I like. I'm pumped to see games like this for the DLC. Like this is a game that has built-in DLC, and I'm fine with that with these kind of games, because you know what you're after, and they're being fair. They didn't put Wolverine behind a paywall like Civilization 7 did with goddamn Great Britain. You know, it's fair, it's cool, and there's a lot of cool shit that you can look forward to. It makes me think of like American Truck Simulator or Euro Truck Simulator, where it's just it is a DLC machine, but you can kind of play it forever. So why not? Why the fuck
there's
not?
A screenshot of She-Hulk doing an elbow drop.
She-Hulk is c'est magnifique. She's I went full idiot with that and played, because you pick two of them. You pick two and you can swap back and forth. And I picked her and Rocket Raccoon to get like the ultimate mommy and short king situation
mommy and
going
short
on.
King combo. Yeah,
it was a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. It's a good game.
Great.
It's as far as the demo is concerned.
That's awesome.
I played a couple of other ones. I played a game called Dusk Punk, which is a pretty solid role-playing game. I did not stick for everyone who got into the role-playing game argument on the Discord. Was that the Video Essayist Discord earlier today?
I tagged you in it.
You tagged me, and I looked at the back log, and I went, no, thank you. And I threw a smoke bomb and left. I was like, yeah, you guys are on your own. Absolutely not.
I was like, I need somebody who played like D&D version, like what you played. You started with advanced, right?
I started with basic.
With basic, basic D&D. I was like, I need somebody who started with basic D&D to comment here.
When elf was your class as opposed to your race. I started with basic. But the thing is, the argument was very much about what constitutes a role-playing game when it comes to video games, which is a worthwhile conversation.
Tale as old as time.
Tale as old as time. People have been arguing about it forever. This is a very authentic, I would argue, role-playing game. It has, you pick your character. It's very story-based. It's very character development-based. Dice rolling. It makes me think a lot of Disco Elysium.
Yeah, I was about to say the style of it looks with the feed on the right hand side of dialogue.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got a similar vibe. It's not a CRPG style game. It's the images are static and everything like that, but it's very cool. It's a steampunky kind of post World War I sort of thing. You play a veteran of the Great War that's still going on, and you're trying to find your way in this, smog choked city. And basically it's kind of like a revolution simulator. Like you can work your way up towards
you know what it looks like a little bit. It looks like Citizen Sleeper.
Sure.
Because it seems like you're doing a lot of like the navigation between locations and talking to people and rolling dice.
Yeah, it's that.
Pretty much Citizen Sleeper.
That.
Yeah. Except
it's very
sci-fi.
that.
Yeah.
Right. This is steampunk kind of shit, or diesel punk. One could argue there are too many punks. So it's I didn't play a lot of it, but this one seems pretty damn cool. It is out, and it's got very positive reviews on Steam. I love the art style, and there's a lot of care that's been put into the artwork here. I fucking love that shit. When it's clear that you're not using the usual, bullshit, AI generated crap, which you're starting to see more and more.
Sure.
It's got a really good hand-drawn kind of style, which is very admirable. Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna find out later that it was AI or something. Just setting myself up.
it doesn't. It's not disclosed on the Steam page, but that hasn't stopped people.
No,
before.
Exactly. I don't think it is. It's just yeah. I also played the demo for a game called Total Chaos, which is survival horror action-y kind of thing.
Okay, it's not a Warhammer thing.
No, not that kind of Total Chaos. More's pity. It is. It's got this one has a great style to it as well. It's got your cosmic horror, survival horror kind of thing, with your Resident Evil puzzles and your breakable weapons and all that shit. It's very gritty. I didn't get too far in this one, but I might play it again just because.
Sure.
It's got a good look to it. It feels good. This one has also come out. It's got also very positive reviews on Steam. Published by Apogee, which I know they're still around, but it still makes me laugh when I see Apogee as the publisher.
Do they have
there.
the same logo?
I wonder. Let me see. I can't. It doesn't. I can't find it. But that would be cool. Turbo. It's done by the people who did Turbo Overkill. I would love to act like I know what that is. Apparently, it was very good. Anyway, came out a couple of years ago. Anyway, those are the demos I've played.
Okay.
In the interest of an upcoming book that we're covering, I did start playing Metro 2033 Redux.
Okay.
Fucking good game. And I've heard nothing less than that. I've heard that it is a challenging, unique, solid game. Man, I can't wait to read this book. The video game has got me deep in this fucking world, so I can't even imagine what the book's going to be like. It still plays well. It's got great dialogue. It's got really cool design. I'm only a couple of chapters into it, but I'm definitely going to play it all the way to the end. It is a cool game, and it holds up really well, considering I think it's 11 years old, 12 years old, something like that. Holds up beautifully.
Are we reading the original novel? Or
yes, we are reading the novel that this is based on. We're pulling a Witcher.
Pulling a Witcher. Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And finally, the last game that I've been playing, I have been, we're coming out of the Black Friday holiday sales and all that shit, and I was good. I didn't get much. But the one thing I did buy for my Switch was the Knights of the Old Republic bundle for my Switch, because I haven't played those games in a few years. And it used to be that I'd play one or both of them at least once a year. And it's been years since I've played them, and I am about a quarter of the way into the first one, and this game holds up. It has aged so gracefully. The visuals are whatever, but the interface and the way it plays and the storyline and the dialogue and all, God, it still holds up really, really well. So that's always nice. It's always nice to revisit something, because KOTOR was like, anytime people are like, all right, post the four most important video games to you, KOTOR is always the top of my list. It's up there with Civilization. It was a very important game for me. And it's always nice when you come back to a game like that and you're like, fuck, this still plays wonderfully. Yeah. You don't have to go, okay, well, for the time, this was, it was whatever, it just, you can hop right the hell back into it. And with a role-playing game, that's especially impressive. Because it's not a simple game.
Right.
It absolutely worth playing, and I love playing it on my handheld while I'm hanging out and watching shitty Christmas movies with my wife. It is super fun. I've been gosh. Now I say it out loud. I got down with some games this week.
You got down with some games.
I did. I'm pretty pleased. Well, so Kevin, what are you playing?
First, I was just thinking, actually, is if we're doing Metro 2033, what if we also did at some point Roadside Picnic, which is what became Stalker, both the movie Stalker and the video game.
I didn't
Stalker.
know that. I'm not familiar with that. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah. It's another Russian. We've had good
Stalker.
Luck with, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, let's do this. Fuck yeah. any
Picnic
game that puts
is the book, based
put me in a misery-filled Russia or Eastern Europe, and I'm there.
We've had good luck with those authors so far. I think there's only been one, but has it been more than one?
But it was solid as hell.
It was solid as hell.
That's great. Let's do this.
Let's do it. What I've been playing mostly is Routine. Routine. Yeah. So tell me, kids, do you like Alien Isolation? Would you like to there have been another Alien Isolation game? Well, there is one coming, but if you don't want to wait for that, there's a game called Routine. Set on a haunted space station where it's basically Alien Isolation, but more you play like an engineer who you're on this space station. You are in quarantine. Maybe lunar base. You're on this lunar base. Moon's haunted. You're on this lunar base. Basically, your character was in quarantine when some bad shit went down, apparently, because anybody who arrives has to stay in like a 7-day holding quarantine room. So you just kind of like wait there. Then when you get out, shit's fucked up. Then the robots are angry, that's Alien Isolation right off the bat. Is the shit's fucked up and the robots are angry. You have a weapon that is not a gun. It's a is that a munchkin? Oh, there's the munchkin. There he is.
Hey,
Hello.
the munch. Hello.
Yeah,
hello. How we doing?
You good? I haven't bought the tickets yet.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Great. Get out of here. Shoot.
Off with you.
There we go.
There we go.
The dog.
Now we can really talk. Now that the dog's gone.
Now that the dog's gone. Basically, you have this diagnostic tool that it works as a weapon, kind of, because you can shoot shoot a little bit of electric shock out of the end, and you can use that to like overload a breaker box or whatever to get a door to open, and you can also use it to temporarily disable the robots that are coming after you. The first time I met a robot, so I just opened a door. I had just shot something to open a door, and the door is opening, and it's opening very slowly. So I'm just kind of like sitting there, and I'm just like watching the door open, and it's opening very slowly. And then from behind, I just hear chunk, 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 and then it's like the robot grabs you and spins you around, like, and you're like, oh shit, and then it threw me like 20 feet and you land and you're like, oh shit. So then you basically are just like, I guess this is it. I guess this is the thing that's going to be chasing me. And I'm running and be like, oh, well, at least there's only one of them. And I turn the corner and there's number 2 and it's got the red eyes. And I'm like, oh boy. So yeah, you can temporarily disable them with your little thing. And you can shoot, shoot it twice. And they'll get disabled for like 30 seconds and you can find time to hide. But your little gun thing only has 3 charges. And then you have to find a new battery. So that's a thing, a new lithium-ion battery. So
that stresses me out just hearing that. That sounds crazy.
And then you also use it to access like wireless access points where you you press a button on the side and it connects to like a projector on the wall, and then you can look through all your tasks and your all the codes that you've picked up and save your game. It's just it's so cool. But it's also one of the more it's just so intense, like it's one of those games where you're like, oh, okay, I played for 5 minutes. I think I'm good for a little bit.
Right.
It's one of those, it's like right now, if I fired up Alien Isolation, I've played through that game so many times where I'm like, yeah, fuck you, Alien. I'll hide here, wait for you to move, do the thing. I know how you work. This game, I'm like, I don't know how you work right now.
And you need that. I think that's because I was thinking about playing Alien Isolation again, which would be like the 4th or 5th time for me.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. You never get that first playing of it back. You never get that
right.
And so that's very intriguing. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah.
In fact.
So check out Routine if you're not. If you're looking for something of the flavor of Alien Isolation and you can't wait for whenever Alien Isolation 2 comes out, I haven't seen any form of release date.
I've seen nothing.
But I know it's in progress. What else have I been playing? Mostly Power Wash Simulator 2. Camilla and I have been playing that. And we beat the game on my save file. So I'm through all the levels, and we're going through her save file right now, and just going through the levels, and it speeds up. It makes it a lot easier now that I have all the high end power washing tools.
Yeah,
and a little bit of Hades too. It's a bedtime game. I just kind of sit there while we're watching something and plug away at it. Should I have made more progress in it for the amount of time I've played it? Probably. But it's right now, it's total second screen. Like I'm not focused on it. So I'm just fucking around until, something happens.
That's how I felt about Ball Pit.
Yeah.
I was like, I think I should be further along in this than I am. But that's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah, that's it. That's what I have been playing.
Nice.
Thank you all so much for listening and or watching. If you can, go on to YouTube and hit the subscribe button. If you have a YouTube account and would like to help us out, we're nearing 500, which is our first monetization threshold for YouTube. So that would be awesome if we can get that. Before the end of the year, it would be tough, but it would be awesome if that happened before the end of the year. And if it doesn't happen before the end of the year, just know I'm very disappointed in all of you. Follow us on social media.
We're not mad. We're disappointed.
We're not mad. We're disappointed. Follow us on social media: Blue Sky, Instagram, TikTok. I found a thing that lets me automatically repost everything from TikTok over the other platforms. So I might be doing that more. What else? Good night.
Good night.